Hey everyone, welcome to my podcast. My name's Akene. My podcast is dedicated to personal development and positivity. I will use affirmations and in some episodes also life stories to help us all continue to evolve and live our best life. All right, so before we begin this podcast, let me tell you guys about Anchor. It's an awesome app that I personally use to create my podcasts. There's creation tools that allow you to record and edit your podcast directly from your phone or computer, and Anchor will also distribute your podcast for you so it can be heard on Spotify, Apple, and many more platforms. You can make money from your podcast with no minimum amount of listeners, and it's everything you need in a podcast in one place, all for free. Hey guys, welcome to another episode of my podcast. And today I wanted to talk to you guys about what motivates me to lift weights and to go to the gym. And so I feel like for me, I don't know if, I'm not saying this is right or wrong or, whether this will work for everyone. But for me, what works is I always try to think about girls in my life that have either, friend zoned me or girls in my life that have, that just haven't been interested in me. And like, for example, there was this time in high school, I believe it was my senior year, and there was this girl that I really liked. And so I asked her to be my Valentine on, like, I think it was the day before or something. And she texted me back and she's like, "Oh, what does that mean? Like, I don't understand what it means to, be like someone's Valentine." And in my head, I instantly knew, that it was BS and she just didn't want to, be upfront and reject me. So she just tried to act like, she didn't know what it was. And obviously, being seniors in high school, I figured there's no way that, she doesn't know what that means. So it's just, whenever I look back on situations like that, it definitely drives me and, fuels me to go to the gym on those days where I might not feel like it, or it'll fuel me to hit that, extra set, when I just don't think I have it in me. And, but it's also not in, a way of, it's not like there's any hatred or, animosity or bad blood or anything like that, towards these girls or towards that, that girl from senior year. It's more so just in terms of the way I look at it is, it's almost like, I made it to the NBA, but let's just say I went in the middle of the second round. And so, yeah, it's cool that, I made it to the NBA and everything. But at the same time, I also always remember, the teams that passed on me. And so I almost think of every girl that's friend zoned me or rejected me as a team that passed on me. And so it's not like, the teams that passed on me, it's not like I'm saying, oh, well, screw that team and the players and their, whole organization. It's not like that. You know what I mean? Like, I'm still grateful to be in the NBA and, be in the position that I'm in, of course, speaking metaphorically. But at the same time, thinking about the teams that passed on me or the girls that, passed on me, it's motivation for me. And it's not necessarily to prove them wrong. It's more so just to prove myself right. Like every time I'm in the weight room, I just want to prove to myself that, I can stay dedicated. If my goal is to, put on some size, I want to put on some size for me. I'm not doing it from a standpoint of animosity or, to get back at these girls that I feel did me wrong. It's all, just from a standpoint of love and, just self-improvement for myself. And I truly believe that that's the best way that, you can respond moving forward is, not doing anything with hatred or, animosity towards the other person, but always just keeping yourself in mind. Always just thinking, what is it that I can do for myself? How can I make myself better? Was there, anything that I did wrong? And if so, what can I do to improve that so that, I'm not in this situation again? And so some other things, from that situation is that, of course, that happened senior year and, it was unfortunate. But at the same time, it also led to me, lifting weights and starting to work on my confidence and things like that as well. Because looking back on the situation, I noticed that I definitely didn't have the confidence that I do now. And so I feel like the fact that, that situation and a lot of situations like that in high school led to me working on myself in the weight room and kind of building up my confidence helped me, so much in the long run. So yeah, and I'm super grateful for that. And I'm super grateful, for all of those things. So yeah, you guys, that wraps up today's episode. I just wanted to talk to you guys real quick about, my motivation for going to the gym. And even if, you're not the biggest fan of going to the gym, it can apply to any aspect of your life. Whether you're working a corporate job and you're trying to work your way up in that job, always use, things like in your case, it might be a coworker or, a family member, someone that you feel, has slighted you or, doesn't believe in you, just channel that energy in the right way. Channel that energy to, make yourself better, each and every day, and, it'll pay off. It'll pay off in the future. So yeah, you guys, that wraps up today's podcast, and I'll talk to you guys in the next one.